Gura team, and welcome to another Dayz Builds. You join me here at the building site. I have a lot of things here. Because there's a lot of things going on. So this is going to be not a bit of a detailed build, and I'm going to have to tackle it in some stages because there's a few things that we need to sort out. So this is the apartment block rooftop, and there's another apartment block over there, which is a bone of contention. But there you go. Never mind. We can always, I don't know, booby trap it or something. Anyway, this is the one that we chose to use, and the reason we chose to use this one is because we get a better view of the town. And there's a marvelous little field down here where Zeds spawn in, which makes a great opportunity to practice shooting skills. We can also see down into the main road. We can see over to the school. We can see over to the quarry. We can see up into the hills behind us that leads off into the northern territories and all of that kinds of bits and pieces. And WAF is over there over the hill. So there's some things. So let me just explain a few things. So there's watchtowers currently. This is a watchtower. This is a watchtower. This is a watchtower. This is a watchtower. And past the stairs or ladders, this is a watchtower. Now, this watchtower in particular is the problematic one. I guess you could say both of these are. This red box here and this pipe, or whatever this conduit thing is, this water, maybe it's a water pipe, air conditioning system, whatever. Anyway, these all get in the way. So I would love to position my watchtower with the open side on this side. And then I would have a screening wall, a screening wall, and a screening wall. And there's nothing out there for miles. So, you know, only but the best snipers would even stand a remote chance of shooting at you. But I can't. I can't do that because this pipe is in the way. So as you can see, this is the open side, which means that the stairs are on this side, which means it's open to that facing block, and it's open to the buildings over there, and it's probably open to these buildings and sheds and various things over here, and that's a weakness of this particular watchtower. So it's a case of just noting this watchtower is here, but it's probably the kind of watchtower you don't want to walk up and down too much. This one over here is perfectly fine. Open side on this side, so it can be screened on that side, and that side, and that side all the way up. And then the open side is only facing the back, but there's also going to be a watchtower here, which is screening it from over there. Yes, possibly long range from over there, but it'll provide a little bit more cover on this side. This watchtower opens at the back, so screening on three sides, open at the back. Again, something to be aware of, something to watch out for. Sorry. Anyway, and then there's this one which faces inside again, which is going to be screened on three sides and provide good coverage of over here safely. And this one, which is also screened on these three sides and faces in this side, which maybe exposes us to some stuff over here. But again, you know, there you go. That's what happens. No base is 100%. You just need to be aware of that. So there's lots of things stored around here because there's lots of things that are going to have to go on. So I'm going to have to build these watchtowers. And I think what I'll do first is I'll build these in their entirety so we can have a look at them. And that's going to take quite a bit of resources. And I'll summarize exactly how many resources at the end. But if you have already watched the admin base build, you will get an idea for exactly how many resources go into building fully screened watchtowers. And it's a lot. And I've got 5. And then once these 5 watchtowers are built, there's things here like the walls. They don't quite fit all the way, and there's gaps and things. So we might have to look at doing a wall and then another wall to kind of cover this gap. You know, 2 walls here might have to fiddle around. So there's some wall fiddling around that's going to have to be done. But I'm going to do that after I do some of these watchtowers. So what I'm going to do initially is I'm going to do a little bit of a time lapse, but I'll probably break it up because there's a lot of building to do and a lot of things going on. And this build is going to go on for a bit because after we build this upper bit, we need to talk about security around this particular hall, which is an access route, security down in the rest of the building, and what we want this place to ultimately look like, and finishing off with things like certainly downstairs barbed wire. You don't need barbed wire up here because why would you? But you could do barbed wire and some things downstairs and some various bits and pieces, and we'll talk about some of those things. But for right now, I got 5 watchtowers to build, so I best crack on. Hey, while it's still daylight, it's going to be nighttime soon. I'll see you soon. Right, team. Well, here we are. Here's, man, these watchtowers are high. Ooh, it's a long way down. It's a long way down. I tell you what, I feel a lot happier with these rails up here, going up on top when there's no rails. Anyway, and that watchtower over there, I'm never using in my life, and I'll show you why in a minute. Because I mean, I'm terrified that I'm just going to plummet to my death past these things. So yeah, so we've got these watchtowers up here, and I'm doing the skeleton of it first. These are only going to be half height, of course. So that we can duck down. And what I think I would like to do is I would clad this top section in metal. Now, obviously, I've said this one is really very open to this area over here, and there's not a huge amount I can do about that. I mean, you can kind of come over here and duck down and stuff, but if you're actually walking up and down the stairs, or you're standing over here, you're obviously exposed over there, as you are in any of these. I mean, they're not. Obviously, ideally, your watchtower would be enclosed on all sides and have stairs in the middle, but the developers obviously didn't want to do that. They obviously wanted to leave it with these vulnerabilities. So bases have vulnerabilities because they're designed with vulnerabilities, right? I mean, that's the way it's put together. So anyway, most of that's actually going to be for aesthetic, of course, because it's probably not going to matter this far up. After a bit of faff and umming and ahhing, I realized that there were some of these internal partitions that I will not need because there'll be fences here. I need these internal partitions because these are external partitions out here. So the fence will stop here, and obviously this would be a hole. And the same on this side. So because this one sticks out, I'm going to need these two lower walls, but not these not for these other watchtowers, because there's going to be fences, and this gives us a little bit of open space inside. Once all these tents are moved out of the way, or stored away, or packed away, or we decide what it is that we want to do with this space, we've got some additional space in here to mooch about. Now, there's a couple of things before we progress onto cladding these watchtowers completely and having a look at walls, for example, and that is this here. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So if you have a look, you'll see that this watchtower isn't aligned correctly. You see how a bit of this log clips through the concrete, and this little bend in the metal pipe? What that means is I can't build the lower wall. So what that means is I have to dismantle this whole thing. Oh. I mean, I'd gotten to the top. Serves me right for not finishing this wall first. I rushed ahead and did the upper bit, and I was like, oh, I better finish that bottom bit. Can't finish the bottom bit. So I'm going to have to dismantle this whole tower, realign it slightly in, more in keeping with this one. Make sure I miss that little bit of metal by coming in just a smidge, and rebuild it. Oh, that's going to be terminally annoying, I can tell you. And then I'm going to go around and have a look at the walls. This thing's going to be a problem. So I can't... I tested this earlier. Because this object is here, sticking out, you cannot build a wall closer to the exterior than on this line here. So, and because this is here, it's going to pose a problem. Where's my wall kits? Let's have a look at the wall kit. They're in here, in this grotty old tent. So we have this, and I've got this box here. Let's climb up on top of this box. We might be able to do something from up here. You're gonna have to come out to there to go around it. If I go straight on, I think Oh, there. Uh, 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 it's gonna let me get closer than that. I, uh, I don't think it's gonna let me build that. I'll put it there, but that's quite clearly. I reckon it won't let me build that. We'll put it there and see what we can get. We can jinky a wall around it. This is a bit of an exposed area anyway. We'll just have to be aware of that. And like I say, this is essentially sort of a almost like a no-go area. Although you can still snipe from out of here if you wanted to. Provide you with this filled in, there'll be dark back here, so you'll be in the shadows. So that'll make it a little bit harder on a bright day because you'll be firing from the shade. But I don't think it's going to let me finish that wall, but we'll give it a try. And yeah, and then there's other walls, other connecting walls to fill in and build and do. So blimey, I've still got a lot to do. I've still got a lot to do. Time is waxing and waning on. All of this that you see before you has been constructed over the course of a night and a day. So that's how long it's taken to do this so far. And I've got to dismantle this sucker, realign it, rebuild it, and then go around and sort out some of the walls. And then we'll have a look at what it might look like, or what the overall shape is going to be before we start skinning it all and putting all the skin on, which is just going to be time and nails and time and nails and probably lots of hammers and lots of hatchets. But I shall see you all again in just a little jiffy from your perspective. Right, crew team, welcome back. So, I have finished most of the sheeting on most of the watchtowers, which is kind of good. It's kind of good. Let's see what's happening on down there. There's a couple of Zeds wandering around. There's a guy in a field. So, this is more or less the finished version in skeletal form anyway. So I've finished up all the platforms that I want to finish up. I have moved the barrels under the platforms, which is pretty good because you've got this extra little space. The platforms are quite interesting because you can access some of them from some sides but not others because it's too close to the watchtowers, but you can still hop across. So when this is all skinned up, it gives you the opportunity to come up here with a little bit more protection from possible sniping around you or shooting around you or whatever the story is. And I've done that on every place where there is a possibility to get up. I think for this one you've got to kind of come around and up. So this gives you the opportunity to have a look down the road without going up to the watchtowers. This one has stairs on both sides, which is great because you can look over that other building, like I said, which is a bit of a sort of a weak point, which is, like I said, fine. You can booby trap it, whatever. Might show you how to do that one time. Stairs over here, etc., etc. A couple of things I obviously had to do was I had to add in these screening areas against these possible sniping avenues through here. This is now finished up with you can't shoot through there and you can't shoot through there, which is tiny little gaps. Just to add some bits and pieces. There are some places where that is simply not possible. Over here, just a big open space. There's just no way to lock that up. And I mean, the reality with any of the watchtowers is one side is open, so it honestly doesn't matter. At some point, you're going to come up above your protected area and have an open side of your watchtower pointing to a particular direction, and you just kind of have to be aware of that. And it's something you're just going to have to take into account. So here we are up at the top, and I think just quickly we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 watchtowers, and they're almost complete. Some of them are complete. This is an absolutely complete watchtower. that's an absolutely complete watchtower. That's so 3 complete watchtowers, and 2 of them are missing only 1 wall at the bottom. So there's nearly 5 complete watchtowers that are going to need skinned up. And we have 1, 2, 3 wall panels over here. We have 2 overlapping wall panels here with platforms. We have 2 overlapping wall panels with a platform there. So that's 7. 2 there, 8, 9, and 2 here, 10, 11, with double platforms, plus screening wall number 1 and screening wall number 2. So there's 13 walls and nearly 5 platforms that are going to complete platforms that are going to need to all be skinned up with planks. Not going to use steel because it's absolutely crazy how much steel you would need to do that. And I'm short 1 bit of steel up here. I've got 2, but not 3. So this is all going to be skinned up with timber and nails. And that will have to wait for a second episode. So stay tuned. This is only part 1 of part 2 as the sun sets in the distance. And when you come back, you will be coming back to is the completely skinned up base up here on the top. And then what we need to talk about is security down there, down in the actual tower block itself, because this is fine and this is great and this will be hunky-dory, but down there is where the real security is going to be. And there may even be a little bit of security up here at the top, and we'll have a look at that and talk about that, etc., etc., what that looks like. But we'll do that in the next episode. So I do hope you're finding this build exciting and interesting. It's an absolute monster. It's massive, but it's going to be fun. And do drop a like. Do subscribe to the channel. Do click the bell notification so you know when the next one of these is coming out. Do feel free to add any thoughts, comments, tips, tricks, suggestions, and if there's anywhere that you would like to see a build go ahead, please let me know. Ta-ta for now.